Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Video Game Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Rose.
I'm Josh.
This guy,
Bryan.
Bryan.
Matt, Josh, Brian,
Matt. Matt, Josh,
Brian,
Bryan. Yeah.
Josh, Matt.
And
Brian,
Shaq. We got Shaq too.
long time.
Transformers.
Oh, brought
Optimus.
the shirt.
Oh,
I got a Pac-Man that Tracy got me.
yeah. Hey, I worked at it. Sorry to go right off tangent here because my ADD, but I worked at a TV station right out of college. It was called KZI 9, right? 9 News. And we had a vehicle. I drove the news van that had the big antenna. I'd have to go set up live shots and everything. I named the news van Optimus 9, and it looked like a transformer. I shit you not. It was pretty amazing. So, had the best name of all time.
Did you like actually put that on the van somewhere?
Did write it in there.
Was it
Yeah.
a vanity plate? That would have been cool.
That would have been a better plate for it. Yeah, it was some other bullshit. But no, I definitely left my graffiti on that. So,
Nice.
anyway, back to the podcast.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Brian, Carts and Cardboards, longtime viewer, supporter, listener. Uh, he's longtime collector. Uh, been around. Did everybody freeze, or is that just me?
I can see you. Josh might have froze
No, I'm
first.
not frozen.
Josh is
No,
frozen.
I'm here. Oh
Okay.
shit. I have unstable internet connection, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's tether this mofo.
Hearts and Cardboard on YouTube, PB jerseys on Instagram. So if you ever see a random paintball person, like, why is he talking about video games? That's me.
That's Bryan.
Uh, yeah, and awesome commenter, and just great for the community because you are in so many forums, and now you're an admin in our forum, which is great. But I mean, I don't know how you keep track. You're in, and I know you're an admin in a lot of them.
I'm in a lot of work meetings that I don't really need to be in.
That's the trick. What what do what is your day job anyway? Like in general, not like who you work for necessarily, but like
Yeah, so I am a engineering manager for consulting firm that does a lot of utility programs as far as like energy efficiency, sustainability work.
got it.
So,
So you're
go
you're
out, get to go out to some cool places and then manage a lot of programs and people who get to go
no,
fun.
Huh.
But yeah, get to see
That
how
I
things are
think
made a lot too, which is a fun part of it.
sweet.
And then
I think
spend more
Andrew
weeks writing
Morgan has
reports.
I was gonna say Andrew Morgan I think has a similar job, but I think it's with architecture. Yeah, not
Okay.
engineering at all. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of building science type of stuff in my work, but overlap. But
Which explains your attention to detail on a lot of things.
yeah,
We won't get into some of that stuff, but yeah, you're just tracking lots of things and digging in and oh yeah, that guy got this grade on this too. Oh yeah, yeah. And I was like, wait, how'd you figure that out? You sucker.
Hey, we need eyes, man. Eyes are important in the hobby.
Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely behind the scenes, secretly supporting the community in good ways, I would say. So, when did video game, we'll get into collecting, I guess, but when did video games really become a thing for you? Like just in life, like where did it all start?
As a young kid, I don't remember exactly when we got our first console was a Nintendo. I remember having Super Mario and Duck Hunt as like the only game we had for a while. Um, and then it was a big deal one Christmas we got Super Mario 3 and played the heck out of that
Ooh.
one. But I remember the first time we beat Super Mario, we left the TV on untouched for like 3 nights because My dad accidentally got the infinite life on the Koopa trick. And
Got
so
it.
that's when we were finally able to make it across some of those damn jumps and figure out Bowser's Castle and all of that.
Did you guys on the turtle, did you figure it out yourself or did you like have
Yes, it was
okay.
pure accident. It was like, oh, oh, whoa, type of thing.
I I love it. I I have to share a little. We had a when I was a paper boy, we had a Nintendo a competition through the paper route people like at the main hub, and I should have won, but they let the other contestants watch you as you played, and I was like second to last, and then this other guy that was really good, I guess, was last. But I had figured out on my own the same thing, the turtle, but it also upped your points so much in doing that that I thought I was a shoe-in for the win. And then the kid watched me and changed his thing and did the exact same thing. And then he beat me by like a little bit. I was so pissed. But yeah, infinite lives helps, especially on that last level. You can these people who speed run that thing and don't die at all.
Yeah,
They do it in
speedrunning
like 4 minutes, right?
thing.
What's that, Josh?
They do it in like 4 minutes now, right? 4 minutes and like 17 seconds. Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
I haven't
Okay.
kept up on speedrun
Yeah, I kept
times,
up.
but
Sorry.
No, you're just choppy. So I was just like looking at your
Choppy.
image.
God damn it.
So I'm like,
I'm sorry,
did you
guys.
say that 5 minutes ago or did you just say that?
No, I think I said it now. Sorry,
Oh,
my internet is not holding up tonight. Apologize.
like I said, I know what I'm
Uh,
getting you for Christmas, but that's a ways out. Maybe I should get it early.
no, I'm not frozen. Yeah, okay. My birthday's before that, Matt, so that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Bryan knows a good like jumper to use just to get internet
to get
down.
The problem really is I my room that I'm in is it's just literally three walls of concrete and then not concrete. So
Yeah, it's a bunker.
yeah.
But I think if you used a jumper, we could maybe.
Okay, we'll get there.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
but yeah, that was when I first started playing video games, so probably 6-ish years old.
wow.
Had an older sister who played a little, but was more me and my dad playing Mario's and Tetris and trying to think what else we might have owned, renting games, trading back and forth with friends type of thing.
So
Yeah.
your dad would play with you. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, for through Nintendo. He kind of quit after that, but
Did you guys transition in the Super Nintendo at all, or did you? Or
Sega. I got a
uh,
Sega.
Sega.
Yeah,
Just
Sega, and then Josh's favorite, the 64.
makes sense. I'm amazed that you didn't go on to PlayStation 1 actually. So that you just like bypassed Super Nintendo. You're like Sega and 64. Interesting.
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't tell you the rhyme or reason behind it back then, but
what
Okay. It's
what
what was at the store, right?
yeah.
what were your games for 64? Like
Oh,
what were
Um,
don't say it,
Probably
Bryan.
the classics, the common ones of your Zeldas, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart, and then my other favorite that is kind of one of those hidden gems now is Worms.
ah,
Worms Armageddon, huh? Yeah,
I've heard that was good.
interesting.
It's a fun multiplayer
Zelda,
one to shoot your friends with back when, yeah,
not Bond,
and
not
GoldenEye.
Gold. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, all right.
just switch it up from Bond.
Yeah, yeah. He's playing Worms. Go to Bond. Yeah. Um, Ocarina of Time. I mean, I did get Ocarina as a kid. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So that came out. What year was that? 96, 97.
Around there.
I got that on launch. Whatever. We went to Fred Meyer. They had it. I got the collector's edition. I played through it because it came out in November or so, I want to say. Maybe it was December even. Maybe it was a Christmas game, but I played it all through Christmas break, I remember, and beat the game. And I couldn't I did not like it. It didn't feel like Link to the Past, which I was obsessed with. It didn't feel like anything on the Super Nintendo. And maybe that's the difference with
Yeah.
people like me because I went to Super Nintendo. You went to Genesis, so you were like moving on with graphics, right? And I didn't. So yeah, I get why people
Yeah.
like Ocarina of Time, but it's
I
not my
didn't play
game.
Link to the Past till a little
Oh,
while later.
travesty, Brian. Brian, what year were you born?
84,
84. Okay, so you're like my age,
40.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's a little older than us. It's an old man over here.
Thus the Atari.
Yeah, that's okay, Matt. Yeah, I was born in 83. I mean, I had an older sister too. I grew up, she didn't play a lot of video games, but when we got the Nintendo, it was a very similar situation where, she didn't play a lot. But when we played together, I remember specifically sitting on this coffee table we had and playing Mario for the first time on our Nintendo and like trying to jump. I think we didn't know where the warps were or anything, but trying to jump in like 3-2 or something and like flying off the table and into a milk crate as I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe 5-year old and just demolishing my knee. So my sister was pretty good at Mario. I was not as a little kid.
Back then, it was all word of mouth, talking to your friends at school, or like, how the heck
Mhm.
do you know, get past this?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you
it
go over
really
to a friend and
was.
you see them do something, and you're like, whoa. Kind of
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
guy who stole Matt's turtle trick.
Exactly. He's just like, oh, I can do that too, and I'll beat you with it. It's like the ultimate just thinking back, I'm like, it's just a stud move on his part, honestly, but I'm the bitter one.
That's fine, Matt. I shared no knowledge whatsoever with kids on the bus because I was dumb and an idiot child, right? When it came to video games, but I did learn from kids in the back of the bus how to beat Castlevania 2. And that was my favorite game as a kid growing up. Castlevania 2 was you go to the edge of the cliff, you kneel down, and then the tornado comes and picks you up. And there was nothing that you could anywhere you could learn that from except from the back of the bus or the kids that knew what to do or whose parents called Nintendo hotline, right? And that was it for me. Like that was my education as well, learning from other kids on video games. And then I lucked out. My parents got me the Nintendo Power and the rest is kind of history. So
Do
Yeah,
you,
that
never
was
owned
it.
one, but I remember going to your Barnes and Noble or wherever and flipping through those to try and figure some stuff out and then putting them back and leaving.
You
We never
didn't have
wanted to
Nintendo
buy.
Power as a kid, bro?
We never had a subscription. We just go into the bookstore or the Meijer or wherever. They'd have them on the shelf, look through them, figure out
Oh,
what you want,
like
put it back, and leave.
do you guys miss the
take a pen
days?
and paper.
Do you guys miss the days of like having to figure it out, not having the internet at your fingertips, or even Nintendo Power for that matter? Because when we were playing early on, that Nintendo Power wasn't around. You just had to, like you said, you had to just share with your friends and figure it out. Do you guys miss that?
Go for it,
Um,
Brian. I know my answer. So
I play a limited amount still, and I don't really use the internet for it just out of discipline unless I really get pissed off at something.
Got it.
I'll,
yeah.
I'll
I
I'm a sucker for pain that way.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way actually. I was going to that's exactly how I'd answer. I'm very stubborn in a game if I can't figure out how to beat something. But if it get to the point of super frustration and I'm using bad language around my children, I'm like, okay, I gotta look this up on YouTube, see how these people beat this spot. So, and specifically in Splatoon in the single player modes, I don't know. You guys got to get into that game. All three of them, amazing. But that's just it. Like I maybe it's an old man thing, right? Or a prideful thing that you didn't have to look it up. My kids are like really quick to be like, let's go look up how to do this on YouTube. I'm like, no, we're gonna sit here and figure it out. Why I can't make that jump, all that shit. I know what you mean. So I had that happen to me this evening actually in Splatoon. So got
S-
on the phone and looked it up.
So if you went to 60, I mean, you went to 64 and then anything after that?
At that point, no, I was going back and buying more, stocking up on Nintendo games at that point.
Wow. So technically you would have been started collecting at that point,
Yeah, when
essentially.
I remember collecting back when I was still in high school, maybe late middle school, before I had a driver's license, because I distinctly remember buying games on eBay, having to take my bike because I didn't couldn't drive yet to the post office, buying money orders and mailing them out to get the games.
Wow, you were early eBay then.
Yeah,
Early.
early eBay, and there's some eBay's changed a lot, but there were some tricks. I
Yeah.
wish I remembered who. I wish I could have saved some of the old messages, but there were some tricks you could do back then. I found because back then you could see who you were bidding at against, like full name,
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you could also click on their name and see what else they were bidding on.
Yeah.
So I learned to follow a couple people that way. And so I would be like, oh, I'm bidding on similar stuff as Wafflefoot. Let's see what else I keep bidding against him on this stuff. Let's see what else he's bidding on. And you could go and
Screw you, buddy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, a good example of that was that, people called it the Nintendo Age effect. When people really got hot and heavy in this in like 04, 05 with Nintendo specific, everybody saw Braveheart 69 as the name. And like, who is this guy bidding up all these games to an absurd amount? Why did that thing go for $250, right? It was always Braveheart 69 winning the game all the time. And that was I specifically remember tracking what he was bidding on, like
yeah.
going and following what he was doing. I know exactly what you're talking about because I did the same thing.
I missed the I mean, it wouldn't be so good now because there's so many people now that game hunt compared to, even back in 2010. But I
Hmm.
remember having alerts on my buys and they would immediately, like as soon as it was listed, it would alert your phone and you could go and grab it. Like, but now it's totally
Yeah, this
different.
was pre-smartphone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This was before I think I had a cell phone, so or
I using the high school internet, right? So that's what I was doing. My free period, I'd go into the library and sit there and search eBay for stuff. I'm like, oh, Mickey Safari in Letterland. Let's get this. So
So what year did you technically start collecting then? It's like, when did eBay come out? Was it like 99 or 2000?
99, 2000, something right around there.
Wow. That's a long, man, you're
And it's ebbed and flowed. I set it aside for a while and then picked it back up and was on. I mentioned I was on Nintendo Age, but very, very casually. But sold
Mhm.
off a chunk of my collection when my wife fell off her horse and broke her back and
oh
needed
wow.
the money and sold off some of the heavies at the time. Turtles Tournament, Fighter Complete in Box, Panic Restaurant, um, like a sealed Super Mario 3 challenge set, and some other common ones, and then a number of other games. And that kind of, after selling those off, inspired me to buy back ones that I cared about in better condition. And that was also when I really started focusing. I always wanted stuff in good condition, but like, okay, if I'm gonna buy it, I want the best condition possible for my games, and
I feel you.
buy 5 copies of it and keep the nicest cart manual and box and off with the rest. But always been big on making sure I have every game 100% complete. It was like before it was anywhere common. So I think other people were tracking it themselves, but saving a bunch of pictures when it looked like it was original on eBay and comparing those to each other of, okay, here's like 5 pictures of this game. So it had this version of the Nintendo Power insert on it. And like, you know, after such and such a date, the plastic baggies went from the tiny hole to the larger hole and
Big
things
hole.
like that. So just track that all myself. Wasn't really talking with people on the community, but cared about all those little details.
Leave it to an engineer to do that.
Yep.
Man. So did you ever get or did you ever care to get like a Panic restaurant back? Or was
Now,
it not really on your list? Just
after I sold all of those, I really focused on like what are the games I really like to play and what were like the good games to play.
yeah.
Mhm.
And not saying like Panic Restaurant isn't a fun game, but I have zero nostalgia for it other than collecting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like that class, the like stadium event class of games has just never really interested me. Give me the nicest possible Matt Super Mario. Also got into like what was the earliest print at that point and going after first prints. And then that's
Mhm.
evolved over the years of that knowledge base. But
Smart man.
yeah, and prior to that, never liked games with stickers. So like I avoided the first print Mega Mans with the Captain Commando sticker on it. I avoided the sticker seal games because I didn't like the stickers early in
Because
collecting.
the boxes were always destroyed, right? Too. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
But
There was a even before, right around the time that Wada was like coming into their own as a company, probably like 2018, like right when they launched, it was still really up for debate. People debated this in public forums on the internet that Super Mario Brothers was not a matte sticker seal game, that it didn't exist as matte sticker seal. Yeah, people were straight up dumb. Like
there
people
still are
knew,
dumb
but
people.
there are
They're
dumb
still
people.
dumb.
Reserved
There's
investments is one of
plenty of
those
them.
dumb. So yeah,
Base packs
I
of
call
Pac,
that.
right?
Yeah, fuck that guy. God, I'll say that right now. Nobody else will, but fuck that guy. That guy's a dumbass, and anybody that listens to him, sorry to go off there,
The
but
reserved
that
investment
He
guy
guy.
is.
knows investing. He doesn't know variant collecting.
Yeah, but if you're gonna know this stuff that and then
Yeah,
pretend that you have case packs of shit, show me some fucking receipts, you asshole. I'll say it, you Timmy two-tone motherfucker. So I I don't care. You don't go on and give advice about stuff that you don't know about. That's
Yeah.
like me going out and giving advice about what stock to buy. I don't know shit about it, so I'm not going to do it. Don't go on and talk about variants. That video made me very hot when I was listening to it.
But
It's just a stupid take on an actual collectible, and he has an audience and is doing a disservice to video game collecting. And not that it's doing a disservice to Grady collecting, but video game collecting as a whole. And to pretend that you know what you're talking about is so short-sighted. And he won't care in 5 years. He won't remember what he said. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. And I
well, it probably gets more
I just shake my
traction
head.
because of
Yeah, but then he goes on and
somebody
saying like, "Oh, these Sega Saturn games were great buys." Are you a moron? Like, come on. Like
well, he clearly has his preference for certain
maybe he
systems.
submitted all those games to Heritage and sold them and was like, "God, these were good buys, you guys. Congratulations." Watch the video if you haven't seen the reserved investments video. And I've never dogged the guy in the past, but his take on the last Heritage auction sale is straight bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So speaking of
sorry.
that Pac-Man, do you want to get into your wins?
Wins? We're not
No,
at
I'm
wins yet.
joking.
Already?
No,
Do you
I'm
have a
joking.
Pac-Man?
I'm picking on you two for being Atari collectors, guessing there's a 50%
Oh no,
one of your dudes.
I I got all my Atari games over here. None are sealed actually up there. Maybe a couple are, but it's my Atari collection. So it's too deep.
I got I
That's what
have
she said, man. Come on.
sealed Pac-Man, but nothing like to really brag about because I mean that grade that sold,
Yeah,
if I had cash freed up, I would have been bidding on that. That's insane. You're just not gonna
yeah,
see that again. I don't give a shit if you have a sealed case pack. I have a couple sealed case packs of some awesome Atari games that I just never want to open just because. But I know what happens with those things. Even if you send them grading, you're not necessarily, you can, it's pretty rare, but you're not necessarily even going to pull a 9.6 out of there. You're just not.
Can,
They're so beat up and thrown around, and you got to think that's like 40 plus years ago.
yeah, and
It's like,
Silverfish have gotten in and eaten every copy out of Venezuela. So there are 18 games that are just dirt ass common on Atari 2600. I'm going to say 18, but it's going to be ranging like 18 to 25. And then it's going to be a specific variant of that game. Like you'll
yeah,
get Pac-Man, right? Atari Corp Pac-Man made in China or made in Hong Kong. I'm not sure which one it is, but there are thousands of them. Okay. Same with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lots of those.
yeah,
Getting high grade on that is very tough though. And a handful more. But when you get into the nitty gritty of why certain things exist and why they don't, they aren't from 1981 and there are 400 case packs of them laying around.
no.
Like the people don't ever follow the dates on games and their release time and why they came out later. I think we live, I know we live in a world of morons that don't try to track anything. We really do. You don't get into the details on anything
Well,
ever.
if you follow
Like
any,
it's sending that dude that is on whatnot buying shit that he shouldn't be buying in the streams that have 400 people. That's sending the guy to the store to buy milk, and he just buys whatever milk there is. He doesn't look at the 2%. He doesn't look at the 1% or the skim. He just buys the first thing he sees because he's a dumbass. And that's literally what exists in 90% of the population. I'm sorry.
well, I mean, if you look back on the history of Atari too, they didn't know that that was going to be a thing. And so why would you overproduce in games early on? And they didn't. It was limited. And when they realized, hey, this is bigger than it is, then yeah, later prints, you push more out, of course. Then that's why there's going to be case packs of those. But those early games, I mean,
There's not even case packs of those, man.
yeah, it's
What you're going to find is you're going to find a nice sealed copy in a Black Vader console that came with Pac-Man in combat. But what you're going to see is what people need to realize is it comes out in 1981, right? 1982 comes around. They changed the text on the front of the box. 1983 comes around. They changed it again, and now it has a blue text on it. 1984 comes around, and they're still running that copy of the game out of the door. 1985 comes around, and the video game market crashes and they don't make any more Pac-Mans. So you have Pac-Man on the shelf. Granted, a lot of them, right? Because everybody's buying Pac-Man and it's a terrible version of the game. But you have this window of 3 fucking years before the video game market just crashes. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry to get so upset about a game like Pac-Man for the 2600, but it's frustrating as hell when people like Sean at Reserved Investments talk out of their ass on things. And I know I'm picking one thing out of his video, but it needs to be picked out because he's stupid as hell in that regard. Sorry.
you got
that's
to.
all
I'm
right.
going to stop.
Anything from the signature you wanted to talk about? Do you have anything up, Matt? No.
Just we're going that way.
Yeah, there was some good sales in there.
Yeah.
We can pull up this here. Let me pull it up. Let me find it before I pull it up.
Don't show your kids this video, Brian.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sorry.
They're hopefully asleep by now. They haven't come back down yet.
Oh, man.
Oh, I always
I
hate
think my
trying to.
kids are asleep.
How do I? I hate trying to find like signature when it's done past
Look in
auctions.
your
Mm.
tracked items.
You don't want to see my tracked items.
Fair enough.
No, go to your tracked items, click on one, and then go to the sale. Do
Oh,
you know what the sale number was?
I see what you're
If
saying.
you type HA / sale number, it will bring up the sale number.
Hold on,
The sale.
I'm going into my tracked items because I was tracking that Pac-Man. So, uh,
Bryan, I'm not a crazy person. Trust
No,
me. I'm very, very passionate
you're
about
passionate
people.
about it.
When people don't know what they're talking about and they have an audience, it almost makes me upset. Like it makes me upset. I'm not gonna fib about that. It is frustrating as hell, right? Because
Yeah, because
and other people who know they're frustrated, equally as frustrated, I hope, because they maybe they aren't because they aren't so divulged into the grading market, but outside of the grading market, people should be frustrated at comments like Sean makes. But I'll give it to the Atari collectors that 90% of people who collect Atari don't go down the rabbit holes of variants. They just don't. They're like, wait, there are four different box printers from 1978 to 1982? I didn't know
well, some of
that.
this stuff is just so hard to get. You get one and you're happy.
yeah,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, how many full set collectors care what variant they get? They want the one of
They
each
they
game.
typically yeah, they typically don't, right? And I think that's okay. Maybe you shouldn't
Yeah.
care so much, but it is those reasons.
But don't pretend like you know what you're talking about then.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Don't pretend you know what you're talking about. But those are the reasons why things have value.
yeah,
That is the literal reason why, if you are a reserved investments person giving advice or sharing your opinion, it's his opinion, why a certain thing would have value over another thing that is similar. Why a matte sticker Mario is going to be worth more than an oval seal Mario. It's the details. And it's in those details that as collectors we should care and obsess about it a little bit. And I don't know. That just mad. I'm
I
mad at
don't,
the state of the world. That's
I,
it.
I don't comment on videos typically ever, and I had to comment on that one too. It's just bad information, and uh,
Bad information will be the death of mankind.
I'm
There
not
you go,
saying
Matt.
I'm not saying I haven't given out bad information, ever. That would
Hmm.
be unfair. But, if you can softly call somebody out on it, which I think I did in that, I was just like,
Yeah, I'll give it to who was it? Was it VG Collectaholic went in the comments there and was very nice about it.
yeah,
I went in there and I said, "You're wrong. You shouldn't know. You shouldn't talk about shit you don't know," or something like that. So
of course you did.
VG
Uh,
Collectaholic bringing it in full circle. Anyways,
uh,
Bryan, did you have anything in the sale?
I did not. I one of the games I graded and sold got consigned in here.
Oh,
oh, oh,
9-4 first print Zelda CIB.
oh, see,
oh,
Not
that
the
was
big
your
sealed
item
one there.
that
I was like,
you
wow.
sold it to her, or you sold it and then somebody had it
Someone
and put it in.
consigned it. Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
I mean, I'll let you guys chime in. What are your thoughts on some of these sales? I'm going high to low. Obviously, I think it's high to low. It looks like it's high to low. Um,
It looks pretty high to low.
it looks
Yeah.
high to low,
I
even though it
think
says
I
best
think
game.
the high end had a bit of a ceiling that came down. Um, Compared to
Hmm.
obviously what stuff has been selling for. And a lot of the stuff in the normal collector price range, non-millionaires, seems to be selling
Decent.
right, fairly steady.
I
But yeah,
mean,
Yeah, that's a good take on it. I agree. I mean, right there, Mario 2, 98 A plus. Oh, it's not the A plus plus. Didn't the A plus plus go for 100 and something? I want to say it did.
in a
But
previous
the
auction.
988 Plus goes for 53 grand. Does that extra plus make it 50K plus more? I don't know.
Yes.
I depends on the pop report.
Right. Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
know, you
I
go
do
talk
think
about how rare something is. It's nice to finally have 3 pop reports now,
Yeah.
even if one's
yeah.
unofficial.
Wait, does CGC's out?
Unofficial.
No, there's a Discord,
There's.
right?
I thought I sent you the link to that. If not, I will after this. If you go on Discord, um,
It's there.
yeah, if you go to the CGC, it's pinned in there as one of the
Ah,
comments.
okay.
Or sealed, still no CIB.
Huh.
So Gamer Stonks didn't have CIB. This doesn't have CIB. So
You know what's weird? I was just going to take us to Gamer Stonks and
go to the Wayback Machine.
yeah, site can't be connected. Oh, of all people who should know about that, it should be me. Good point. I like that. Way
Gonna
back.
go look up price data. You'll be able to find Halo 4 on the Wayback Machine and Super Mario 3. That's it.
Yeah, I could get back to my Halo 4 updates. Ah,
Okay. All right. My
Hey,
opinion is
you were
that
the
Clue
first
Clue
one to
Land.
bring it up again, Josh.
yeah.
What's that?
I
Halo.
said you were the first one to bring it up.
I had to, so we didn't have to talk about that dumb game.
It's okay
Yeah.
because I've got it in my wins no
I'm
matter.
talking about Halo 1. Halo 4 is a masterpiece. So
Eric couldn't agree more.
I know. I'm privileged to know somebody that worked on a game such as Halo 4. Clue Clue Land.
What? Clue Land.
Clue Clue Land undersold.
92A plus plus.
We have a mad sticker Clue Clue Land going for
Yeah.
$47,000.
Oh,
I'm saying that that's about the only game in this auction that undersold. This game is so freaking rare, sealed. So first print Clue Clue Land going for $47,500. 92 A plus plus. It's a sticker. They graded it. It's perfect sticker on there.
I I didn't even notice
I
that
think
that was
this is a
on there.
$150,000 game.
Yeah, there's if you had 50,000 to spend, you had to pick us some nice stuff in this one.
I agree. I think that's the one I would have picked. Uh, I think based on the whole idea of the black box launch collection
And
for the Nintendo
sealed
Entertainment
that is
System.
insane for anything other than, I mean, not to downplay Gyromite, but
I
seems
agree.
fairly common.
Yeah, and it
Or
was
more common, not common.
what it was protected better.
Yeah, it came
In
in the box. It came in
yeah,
the box, and not everyone. Yeah,
yeah. So you're gonna
came
have
with
a
the box.
higher chance of it being nice versus this. How does this survive and still be a 92A plus plus 40 years later? Like how?
I've that's a crazy grade, but it really shouldn't, right? I've heard this the best argument ever for sealed games on why Duck Hunt Matt Sticker and Gyromite Matt Sticker and Athletic World are will forever be like the best games that you could buy is that they were never in case packs and they only came in consoles or an accessory.
That's fair.
And I agree, right? What happens one day, 50 years, 100 years down the road, who knows, right? Maybe it's next week where there are 20 case packs of each black box launch title found. Maybe it happens. Then Gyromite and Duck Hunt instantly become the rarest games from the launch of the NES.
I'm not
Instantly.
holding my breath for that to happen.
I'm not holding my breath, but I'm saying there's a possibility that they could find a case of those with a sticker, right?
Is that
Like,
any more common than them finding a pallet of consoles?
yeah, I think it would be because everybody opened the console. Maybe not everybody was buying baseball or soccer.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any, but maybe we'll
Con
get surprised.
Are you saying case packs of matte stickers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, good
Oh,
grief.
wait, you guys.
Such a low possibility. Like
Maybe
extreme.
FAO Schwartz just put the stickers on the games and we're all idiots. So
No, I disregard that.
okay. Schoon, also the best deal in this auction.
Crazy rare. I mean,
2019, a raw copy comes up and sells on eBay for 8 grand
you got
of
to give
Schoon.
GoldenEye some credit. I
That's
mean,
a beautiful copy.
yeah,
You
that's a
don't see a ton of sealed GoldenEye.
that's insane. I mean, that's just awesome to see.
Yes, it is.
You've got a whole host of Nintendo games, and all of a sudden, bam, there's a 64. Right now, well, I guess there's well,
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Well, it is the 64 game, right? Outside of Mario.
Man, some of
First
this
Print Pro Wrestling.
some of this feels like it might have undersold a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gumshoe, that would not a first print, but
Hmm.
dang, that's pretty solid.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
I think Nintendo Power is out of control
That's
going for that
crazy.
price. But
No,
I agree. You want the free sample if you're going for issue one, in my opinion.
I'm just saying
yeah.
that grade is
There
crazy.
needs to be a giant delta between those two.
There does, and there
They're
needs to
soft.
Heritage should publish an article about the difference. Maybe they wouldn't, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. Somebody should.
They want them to sell high, but
Yeah. Hey, so that Minecraft was mine, Matt. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that sale?
It's under from where it had sold previously, but not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't sell that for, well, I mean, if you needed to sell it,
Somebody comes to you and they're like, "Here's $14,000 for Minecraft." You're not going to be like, "Okay,
if you no, I wouldn't, but if you need the
okay."
money, or if you have something else you want to buy, sure, it's not terrible, right? Under 10 would be terrible. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
if you
feel
had two copies, would you trade it for Schoon?
would I trade this
I
for
would
Scoon?
trade.
Two of
I
them.
Yes.
would trade the
Oh,
two copies for a
no,
single copy of School all day.
no.
Yeah. You
I
had two copies of Minecraft. Trade it
I
for
Yeah,
Schoon.
they could have both of them for $30,000, $28,000 value, and
I'd
I'll
do
take
it.
one copy.
I'd do it for a black box or for that
Clue Land.
oh, well, of course,
Yeah,
but I mean if there was something more reasonably, I would maybe do
I
it.
wouldn't do it for the Turtles too, right there. I don't think I would trade that.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have the Minecraft than the NBA Elite, Metal Warriors.
And that's sometimes how you have to look at it. I like this game, but I want something else.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see Minecraft as a long term. Um, I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the copy to have though?
yeah. First print
Well,
Minecraft 360.
it's kind of right. Like there's no other physical copy that people can tangibly put any, I don't know, anything
Yeah.
to other than a first print 360 copy, right?
There's
Other
only
unless you get a card with
there's
a DLC code
there's only four of them
or
thus
DL code.
far. At 98 A plus plus. It's like, yeah,
And the other three have sold. Mine and the two others are gone,
yeah.
right?
Good luck getting the other one.
Did you sell yours? Yeah, Matt's not selling.
That Mario sold strong.
Sold.
This one,
Yeah.
85 for
Which one?
For an
$12,000.
85.
Woo!
It
Man,
was
that's
half that last year.
Damn.
qualified 12,500. Ooh,
That was qualified?
that's qualified, baby.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mario 4.
No, no,
Oh,
No,
okay,
no.
yeah.
no,
No,
the
the entertainment
action
set.
set,
Sorry,
great.
action set qualified. It is
Yeah.
an 85 plus, so yeah, man, some heat.
Damn.
Yeah,
Tetris
that's
won
wild.
that. There was two Tetrises, and there was a steep difference. I know 90's a good grade, but there was also a
9.6.
first print that sold Rainier that didn't go that high. 92A plus. People don't talk about Tetris variants much.
Josh, do you
I
know the
guess I need the gray one, don't I? What's that? I know Tetris variants.
no
I
God.
thought I had a gray box one. Damn it. Okay. Um, Tetris,
I was saying there's
four
a
line
nice
warranty.
first print that Rainier sold a couple weeks ago that went for like 800.
Because there's
And
a
this is a
90.
late print 90 for 10, 11,000.
Yeah, it's
This was way strong.
Yeah.
This was the 90 effect, right? And you're getting a
yeah, it's
four
about
line on this.
it's
The variant details are so minute on these ones, people don't pay too much attention.
Yeah.
The um the first print is oval TM, oval R, and then it has no Mexico printed on the side. It sold for $800.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't know about this variant, to be honest.
What was the grade? You said 9.8?
92A plus.
Oh, 9.2. Yeah.
So not bad by any means,
Yeah.
but not a
We
90.
had the Kmart collection, we had a 9.8A plus first print Tetris we sold in Heritage. I want to say.
What did it
Yeah, I
sell for?
should have kept that one.
I
Uh,
was actually just going to scroll through and try and find, I mean, there's some awesome sales in here. Like that's pretty awesome. It's awesome to see, and that's pretty, I like to see that love for Xbox. You've got an
I,
Xbox 360 VGA 90 for 10
this
grand.
this is a deal in my opinion. I If people weren't keeping 360s pristine on launch day. So
No, they were
that's a
awesome those days.
wild sale, wild
Still
item
grading is
in a
niche though.
VGA 90.
Yeah.
What's that?
Console grading is niche.
It is. I, I
I
think
had
that's a kind of
yeah.
a monumental system, though.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, Halo 3,
yeah,
baby.
I think that's a good deal.
I was just trying to scroll down and find, man, that sold cheap. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
know it did, Matt. That was the one that Wade bought off the Whatnot stream. I think he paid 10 grand, so he didn't break even because that's with the BP on
Wait,
there.
why did he sell it?
Uh,
If he, why buy and then sell?
I think he had multiple copies.
it's a Wade move, man.
Uh,
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta let the dogs out for a second. They're at the
this is
door.
what I
Hold
was
on.
looking
I'll be
for.
right
I
back.
wanted to see where this landed because we had talked about this and I thought this was freaking awesome. 85 plus Sega Master System,
Uh,
8,750.
yeah.
That's just cool. Like this is the kind of stuff that I love because you've got the nostalgia. It's just cool. The grade is insane. Um, even though it's not going to sell, you know, crazy amounts right now anyway. This
You're
to
not
me,
going to find another.
no, this to me is like the cool. This I would consider trading maybe Minecraft and some money towards, you know, or mine, you know, give me some money with
Five
that.
grand and you can have the Minecraft in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would consider something like this just because this would mean more to me than like a Minecraft. Because like you said earlier, it's what's meaningful to you. And
Yeah.
some things are cool and rare, yeah, but is it meaningful? This is cool. That's just freaking sweet. What do you think about that?
I never had a connection to the Master System. Like I said, I got into the Genesis, but
Yeah,
so like a sealed first print Sonic would I need to pick up a Sonic 2 at some point.
got it.
Those we'll see. Those tend to come up every couple of months, so I put it off as I can buy that later.
Yeah, it's not
I
like
know that can come back to bite you. Dylan on his Super Mario hunt right now, Mission Mario. Said
yeah,
that for years, so
you just
You never know.
Well,
Sonic 2 specifically? Like, are you looking for
Yeah,
a
I,
first
I
person?
was saying that's a game I want to pick up at some point, but you see it every, you know,
Yeah,
one comes up, tube seal, decent grade. Last
it's
one.
uncommon. No. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see them every 6 months, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And but you also have the luxury of it, all the other Sonic 2s that are more common, diluting the value of that one because
Yeah.
people don't know what to look for.
I, I'd
Um,
I'd take this 100 times over the standard Xbox system.
yeah, I thought
That
this
one
was a,
displays so nice.
Yeah.
it's really cool.
I passed one up, and I've regretted it ever since I did.
I'd like to get a Fable Halo 3 dual console. I think that'd be a neat one to get sealed.
Uh, yeah, we could. Well, there's your Sonic. Oh, that's a not
I
for
that
resale.
that strikes me as weird.
The not for resale.
No, I
That's
love that.
supposedly.
Yeah, so that I don't know if that came out of a console that was
Yeah,
sealed because it's not even
it
qualified and it doesn't have a seal on it.
absolutely VGA would not have graded it if it
If,
didn't come if somebody didn't send in a console that was unopened and pull that to grade it.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't have
but
done it.
but still, that just strikes me as there's no seal on it. I
It
don't know.
never came sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it didn't.
So yeah, like
But for like a new
I think
collector that doesn't know that VGA would only have done that,
Yeah,
it's just that initial like, what this is okay, this is weird. You know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah, that's fair. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Uh,
we
I
know.
think it
Yeah,
I think it's super cool. I yeah,
I have a high grade CIB first print, but
I do too.
I just need to find a really nice manual to go with it to bump it.
Oh,
Yeah, Castlevania 2, I wanted to bid on that. I didn't. I uh
and there's our Pac-Man right there.
Nice fresh.
terrible buy.
I think that undersold. I'm just gonna say it. Screw that.
I had
Mhm.
no clue where that was going.
I was thinking 10, but
Yeah,
Yeah. For the grade, the game, $10,000.
I
Pac-Man on 2600
had
is
no
terrible.
chance at it.
I know some people will laugh at that, but to me, just knowing how hard it is to get even cross just an 8.0, I'm telling you, it's
Hmm.
it's so hard. Like
First print, one of the most iconic Atari games on Atari. It's not an Atari game, but
in video games
Yeah.
in general, how is Pac-Man like, oh,
yeah,
yeah, this was a great buy for somebody, I think. If you landed this, man, props to you. That's freaking awesome.
Well, you know what people are gonna do? They're gonna be like, somebody's gonna be like, name the 10 best franchises of video games of all time, right? Pac-Man is gonna be on that list.
Jeez. Yeah, why
Absolutely.
why not? Man, that's pretty strong for an 80.
That's a hang tab, Matt.
Oh shit, never mind.
That's
Is
not
it?
strong at
Oh
all.
crap. I didn't see the hang tab. Sorry, I saw the 80 and I was like, it's circle 80, blah, blah. Oh, hang tab. Ooh, okay.
I think that undersold too. And VGA
Ooh.
80, if you're crossing, that could be all over the map.
Yeah, it could be 8.0, it could be 9.0, it could be
It could
anything.
be 9.2 A
could
plus.
Yeah.
be yeah, could be 9.6 B plus.
Yeah, exactly. You're not sure,
Oh,
but
that's true. That's true.
you just have to look at it as a sealed hang tab, which is super rare
Cool.
for a card.
Wow. I missed the hang tab, so thanks for pointing that out. All right. I think
All right.
I don't want to detract from having
That's
Bryan
okay.
on as a guest just to look at heritage.
Heritage.
No, I suggested it, so
I think it's fair. I think it's good.
We need to talk about those because you have a side collecting
yeah,
thing that you also collect. Uh,
yeah. Well, I've jumped back and forth because it's hard to collect for more than one hobby at a time.
yeah, why don't you share your main in my opinion. What's your main collecting bug right now? Like, I don't,
So what I go for at this point in the paintball side of things is stuff that just doesn't come up much. So I'm not buying a ton of paintball stuff anymore.
yeah,
I'm looking for stuff from late 90s to early, maybe mid 2000s, mostly late 90s, early 2000s. Um, Paintball kind of went through a lot of changes over that time, where it was played exclusively in woods to where it got put onto fields with like spools and what they call hyperball, which
hyperball.
is like plastic tubing, and then to airball, X-ball, which is inflatable bunkers. And it just went from playing on a game on 20 acres, 10v10, 15 versus 15, to then went from 10 to 7 to 5, and much smaller fields, much faster pace, and kind of changed a lot, grew a lot for a while. Pandemic hurt it pretty bad,
Yeah.
because it's one of those luxury sports. It's not a cheap game to play, but it's a lot of fun um, to go out and do. But yeah, and that was also when I was playing a lot during that time period. Um, Also in high school, college, helped. I didn't start it. Someone else had started a paintball club at my college, and I picked it up and went from like 4 people to like 30 at each event.
Wow.
So
It was like a sanctioned club sport.
it was a club that we got some of our activity dues back. So we got to
Nice.
essentially play for not anything coming out of our pocket. It was part of our built into our tuition because I was able to get enough people to get out to each one and then talk to field owners saying, "Hey, if I bring 30 people out, can you give us a little bit of a discount?" type of thing.
Wow.
Hmm.
So
Smart.
got to go to some stuff that way. Get to play for free, essentially.
But
Not free because you're paying
So
for tuition, which, yeah.
but you transition, I mean, you kind of in my mind, like when I think of you as a paintball collector, there's one thing that specifically stands out, at
Is
least
the
to me,
jerseys.
the jerseys. I mean,
Yeah.
you have an ultimate jersey collection, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got a lot of nice ones of those now. There's a couple other big collectors in there, but they tend to either be sitting in an old like pro players collection or in someone like my collection, and there's not a lot of the ones that I would want that are changing hands anymore.
Yeah.
So,
hmm.
you know, if something I want comes up, I'll buy it, but it might be 6 months, 9 months before something like that pops up again.
So it's a lot like collecting early Nintendo. Like
Yeah,
you just don't see
you don't see
matte
some stuff.
stickers just floating about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The stuff
Right.
you really want is, and it's one of those things, kind of with games too. I'm not just buying anything at this point, you know.
Okay. What is like, I guess, a really brief history of paintball outside of what you kind of told us about the late 90s? Is there when did it really start? Because I am
Right.
not an educated person, and up until our conversation today, I know that paintball guns were cool, and you had paintball stuff. Matt loves paintball, but I did not realize that there was a whole collecting scene
Oh yeah.
behind all this,
Yeah.
I guess.
So and there's multiple collecting scenes of within paintball. Like some people, I go for like the iconic players. So this was, um they would play 5 events a year, kind of go across the country. So there'd be one in Chicago, there'd be one on the East Coast, like Northeast somewhere, there'd be one in Florida, there'd be one in California. So they'd move it around. Teams would show up. You win an event, you get certain points, and then the last one is the biggest, the World Cup. And I think at that time it was scored the same. Now it's like you get 50% more points, so you get 1.5 times if you win that to give it a little more prestige too. And so you could win like placing events like you place higher, you get more points. So you get the most points across the 5 tournaments. You won the series. This was the first team to
Mhm.
ever win the series and World Cup in the first year. And they had won both multiple
Okay.
times, but never in that same year of like a definitive, we are the best team.
Yeah.
And
Across the board.
across
Interesting.
the board. And they had one of the guys there, Ollie Lang, who that was his first year as a pro and just blew up to become the Michael Jordan of paintball in
Yeah.
the 2000s era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do these professionals, do they have trading cards and stuff like that? Is there like a whole line of
They're
Panini
more,
doing
they
paint?
made a couple. No one cares about those.
They
Interesting. Huh.
they're it
But
it's like
yeah,
their paintball guns that they used
yeah,
or whatever is kind of like the
The
thing.
yeah.
card.
Guns or
Okay.
jerseys are the two main things someone would want.
Yeah.
But there's a whole nother side of collecting just because like each gun there were like hand milled for a while, uniqueness or a limited version where they'd produce something kind of really cool looking, but only 12 of them or only however many. So there's people that collect nothing to do with the pro
Hmm.
side of it, but just really intricate designed guns. That's what the bone breaks are. So they would produce like private label, add add anodizing, which is the color. So that's
Yeah.
dyeing it's a chemical process to color the aluminum. So different patterns
Hmm.
of that. They would do different millings to them to try and make them have a unique look and sell and be the premium product on there as opposed to just your standard black run of the mill ones to differentiate themselves. And when they would make those by hand in these shops, there would only be a certain number of them. So people go for those. Um, some of the older masks that you wear, people collect those, whether
Yeah.
and people spend lots of money on that. So there's lots of different sides. Your headbands, people collect some of the older ones or newer um, ones of those. People kind of like had a big phase a couple years ago where a new headband line by some of the professional players came out and people they would release them in like limited runs and people would try and buy those drops and they'd sell out in 20 seconds and people would be like I had it in my card and then I didn't and
I,
Interesting.
buy
I
them for $150 and turn around and sell them for 1,000.
So is that why this stuff's super hard to find, right? Certain collectibles in it, sounds like. So is that why you decided to also do video games? Like get into where you are at now with looking
I
for certain
mean,
details?
I've collected video games for longer than I've collected paintball stuff.
Sure.
Like I played
Right.
paintball in
Yeah.
high school, but I didn't collect stuff.
You didn't collect stuff in high school. Do you
Yeah.
have regrets about stuff like that? Thinking, man, I could have got this sort of thing, or
I mean, I could have asked some of the players and they were giving jerseys away back then.
yeah.
yeah.
You go to an
What
event at the end of it, hey, can I have your jersey? Sure, kid.
I guess I don't really know the scene, so when there are professional bouts, I guess now
Yeah.
are they on ESPN, or where can I watch this? Is it like a big?
ESPN
I
Ultra.
think they just did a deal with ESPN this year to bring it back. It's it's a fun sport to play. I'll be the first person to say I can watch it at like an event. It's not a great sport for TV. There's too much
That's
going on. You can't there's not the popular sports, there's one soccer ball, one baseball, one football, one basketball, one hockey puck.
Focus point.
Yeah. Paintball, there's
Yeah, that's fair.
way too much going
Yeah.
on. Fun to
And
play.
it's kind of like running. Running is a hard sport to watch, like cross country running or a
Yeah.
marathon. Watching a marathon is very
Yeah.
difficult.
There's plenty of sports that are enjoyable to do that just aren't entertaining.
Mm, okay.
And I
But
put
you're
it in
not, I
that
guess,
category.
yeah.
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 I can appreciate it, but I don't, yeah.
But
I'm not,
Mm.
I don't think that's how it's gonna take off or grow ever. It's just gonna be people enjoying playing it, getting more people out.
paintball is
Mm.
big enough though that I mean, it did cross over to video games. My question
Yeah.
is, how in the world did Ollie Lang not get the cover of paintball instead of Greg Hastings? Like, I don't even care if
Money and
he's
connections.
I don't even care if he's
Greg,
retired at that point or on a
yeah,
sabbatical or whatever he was doing. He was the person that he was the Jordan to have on the cover.
yeah, money and connections.
Was Greg Hastings even a top
Yeah.
10 player at that point?
No, he's never been a top 10 player. He
That's
fought
my
his way
point.
onto a top team. I mean, he wasn't bad, like he was good enough to play with them, but he also brought sponsorship money.
Yeah, that's
It's a
fair. But
marketing man, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a business guy.
Um,
And a lot of times
so
back then too, you would have it, there wasn't a ton of money, and you'd have one or two guys on the team that were the money guys and
yeah,
would play
Mhm.
and try and get it best teammates as possible.
well,
And
didn't
That
like
didn't
makes
that's
sense.
not to say they were bad players, but you know, would they have been on that team if they also weren't paying for flights and hotels and paying at the events and things like that?
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Long helped keep the Iron Man together because he would
Yeah,
front the money a lot of times for a lot of the
yeah.
players just to get them.
He was also good, but
Yeah, Bob is to me the goat of
yeah, and
paintball.
Matt and I have talked. That's one
Yeah,
of the team guns that I want is one of the ones he made. He
yeah,
was a player who also made specialty guns and then in even higher tiers, the ones that the team had.
yeah,
So he played
Okay.
for this team for a decade.
yeah.
And they
He's
So
ended
are
up,
there any quality, I guess, clips that you would recommend people to watch on YouTube of something like this?
yeah,
Where can
it can be the paintball is great at shorts. You know, you can have entertaining ones of those. But as far as like being able to watch a match and understand what's going on, it's a steep learning curve.
that's fair.
although some of the
But yeah,
old
there's some cool documentaries that you can splice together and
Okay, okay.
kind of explain
Yeah,
it.
I guess that's a good question. Is there a good paintball documentary somebody can go watch if they're a complete novice to this?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'll have
mean,
to track it.
a show in general, if somebody were just watch, I think Push is one of the better paintball
Push.
videos ever put out.
I'm gonna jump ahead to wins here. I told Matt I had something he'd appreciate.
Oh, did you get a seal Push?
I did.
No way. Where did you find that?
Someone on the Facebook group posted it up and I jumped on it.
Was that recent?
Yeah, a
Was
month
that
ago
because
maybe.
that guy asking how much is Push worth?
I don't know,
No, that was just a couple of days ago.
but
Hmm.
I
So
mean,
on, you
yeah,
and I both have one now.
yep,
Is it nice?
enough.
Sweet.
Beggars can't be choosers on a
Right? Dude.
yes.
And
That's a that's a VHS.
Yeah,
what's funny is we
my
both
first sealed VHS.
When did that
oh
come out? What's the date on that?
90, no, so it covered the 99 World Cup, but I think it came out in 2001.
2000.
2000. Okay.
So are you gonna grade it?
Maybe. It's CGC and VGA who grade and
CG,
Beckett, right?
yeah. CGC did a good job on mine. I've got a whole
I'd send it to CGC if you're gonna grade it.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did it. I've got a whole case of those here that I still haven't showed the audience. Maybe I'll show some, but I was really happy with
And
those. But what's funny is that you and I are the only ones that have sealed copies of the demo and that.
And that, yeah.
That's freaking
Interesting.
sweet. That's awesome.
I might have to send those in. Did you get your demo graded?
No, I haven't sent that, and I haven't sent in my sealed push either. So,
Okay.
um, but now I
If
want.
it wasn't niche enough to be grading VHS, you're grading specifically
Paintball
paintball
This is where
VHS.
people tune
Yeah,
out.
you didn't know what
And then you're
rabbit
gonna have
hole
to
you were
send in
going
like
down.
a
We're the sealed VHS paintball.
So you're
Like,
crossing like
aficionado.
three avenues. Like, yeah, that's awesome, dude. I am stoked. I haven't ever
Yeah,
seen
that's a
that. They just don't. I'll ask you later what the deal was because I don't want to,
yeah.
But
that's
man,
pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That's killer. I'm stoked that you got it too.
All right, I gotta ask, what does your significant other think of all of this? What do your kids think of what you're doing? Collecting, grading games,
Kids
grading tape.
don't really pick up on it at this point.
They don't. Okay.
Yeah. I
All right.
keep them out of the basement so that they don't try and open anything that's not graded already type of thing. And I do some sealed, but I've been more of a like mint CIB type of collector going
Yeah.
after first print. I hate the argument like, would you rather a 5.0 B plus sealed or a 9.0 CIB? It's like when you're talking first print CIBs, people don't like in that price range, you're either going first print CIB or last print sealed for a lot of the big games. You're
Yeah.
talking Mario, Zelda.
Easily.
You don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take a point 0.5 C minus Matt Super Mario if it's sealed.
Yeah.
You know, not happening. So
Right.
would I rather the
But
high grade
exactly.
CIB matte sticker or an oval sealed?
So
And I went
Matt
the
sticker
first
all
print.
day, dude.
is
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that where your current like collecting goal and focus? Is it still just the mintiest CIBs of the games you really want? Is that where you're at right now?
Um, it kind of, if I can upgrade some of them, maybe. I've also cut back on purchases for a decent amount.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've tried to upgrade some where I can, and um, you know, I don't
Because
know that the ones that I want upgraded, will come up, or if they do, like 9.0 matte box, I'm not affording it.
yeah,
Mhm.
You know?
it's just
Unless you just luck into it, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look into that, and I'm not holding my breath.
save
Yeah,
save
Well,
save your money for that marker that we all know you're gonna get.
yeah, but
okay.
Paintball gun.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They
You guys are
they
speaking
to get on
Spanish
TV,
over.
they dropped the gun term and went to marker.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
That's what it is, right? You're marking
Yeah,
someone. You're not shooting them.
yep.
well
And
we're
that's
all
what it originally was. They used them for marking cattle or trees to cut down.
yep.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
paintball was originally built for.
And of course, guys being guys, it's like, well, man, I could just shoot you with this.
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
we're
well,
gonna
give me
take down
one.
these 15 trees over here. Just shoot them, Larry. That's what
Yeah.
you got to do.
And he
Yeah.
gets
Interesting.
mad and shoots him, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna shoot you.
It's just kind of fun.
Yeah, it's like
We got to go pick out the oaks we're taking out.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around, you guys. That's what
if
they're
you
saying.
if you look into the origins of paintball, it is kind of an interesting story. I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
where I found it, but it's fun how it started and how it evolved. But what what uh
Yeah.
what else is that your do you have anything else wins
No, I
wise?
got a couple other things
All
here.
right, let's just get to
Speaking of
wins.
minty CIBs, see if you can.
Oh, I knew you were gonna. Good
You got
Lord.
9.6, huh?
Ooh, good Lord.
How long did that take you to do?
Oh, this was like 7, 8, 9 submissions and multiple.
Ooh.
multiple builds, but it's a game I think is worth that. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun Story has a 9.6 cart in it, and that's one I've
How's
had
your
with me
bagging?
for 15, 20 years. Actually played it, beat it multiple times, so kind of
Yeah.
the box I upgraded, the manual I upgraded, the map I upgraded, but the cart was the one I played on.
Wow. And it's got a
Nice.
9.6.
9.6 box, 9.6 cart, 9.6 map, and 9.4
Did
manual.
you have like cellophane around it when you like put it in the Nintendo or good man?
Top loader.
Just played it on a
Oh,
top loader like a
top
decent
loader, you
human.
like removed the flapping lid so it didn't touch anything and
I'm
yes.
just gentle with my
Hold on.
stuff
What?
even when I open it. Yeah.
Top,
Uh,
top loader is the only way to go. I'm just saying.
Another one, I got my first VGA submission back pretty recently.
Ah, how'd that?
Finally did them. Got pretty good grade there.
Wow. Oh, and worms. There
Sent
you
your
go.
worms to VGA, huh?
Yeah,
That's
so
a
that came out of the Retro Tejo case pack that was
the one
found.
where the 10 came out of.
Yeah, the Wada
Okay.
10, there's a 95 from that same one.
Hmm.
And then
Wow.
let's do more quick things to show. Since we talked about this game already, it's not a plus plus, but I'll take it.
98A
Oh, you
plus
got
first
one.
print.
And, yeah,
That's not shabby.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking for them, you know how hard they are to find. They don't
yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
Found that raw on eBay. Paid
Nice.
paid a decent amount a couple years ago, but can't complain for that.
Well, the real kicker is, that's very hard to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that. Um, the Switch version, have you found a Switch version?
I did, and I had two at one point. Um,
I
sold
got
one.
one now. Matt, help me out right
You
here.
did. I might have to help Josh upgrade his.
No, that's perfect, Matt.
Well,
But
It's a game
well,
we play all the time.
Brian
That
helped
version too.
Brian helped
So
me obtain another one, so I'm saying maybe I can. Eric said he didn't want one, so
it's do you know why this exists? Like, I think it's a really interesting story why all the first print Switch games exist versus not existing. Like Mario, Odyssey, this Breath of the Wild, first prints exist because packaging had to update on the game to reflect the standards for Proposition 65 in the state of California. And so if you look at like the timeline of when that needed to be put onto the packaging, it's August 2017. So if you can find there's more games than just these two or three
yeah,
games. But
there's a
if you can
couple
find
well-known
games,
ones, but yeah,
yeah. I think there's like a Mario Tennis Aces is one as well that people don't care about.
Mario Kart,
But
Odyssey,
mhm.
Breath of the Wild,
But
Smash.
if you look at the date, I think Minecraft is I want to say it was released in June or maybe it was May, and then they had to change the information to the verbiage had to be changed by August 1st, 2017. So that print being on store shelves for 2 months.
I
And
think Minecraft is the rarest of all of those.
it absolutely is. And people just don't understand why they exist. When you come to terms with understanding why stuff like this exists, it it transcends time and revisions matter from white bullets back into 87 to changing to that to adding the Rev A and seeing how long stuff is on shelf. The actual rarity behind video games becomes really transparent of
Yeah,
why certain things are really hard to find. If you just follow the dates,
yep.
Sean at Reserve Investments needs to take a cue on that. Follow the dates of why stuff exists. You'll understand why certain video games, certain versions are rare and why they are important. So
Well, and that's one thing I
Minecraft
like
fits in that
about
mold for Switch.
when you're getting into um, cartridge games is because you can open it up, look at the circuit board, and check bought date codes on the chips on them too. And that's one thing, like
Yes.
all of my mats have proper chips in them. You plenty of the copies that are graded don't. I know that for a fact, but since I've
Yeah.
graded mine, people just get the nicest card and throw it in. Mine, I made
Yeah.
sure had the proper.
That's very noble of you. One day people will care. One day it will be
No one,
notated.
no one can tell other than that, but I'm not planning on telling.
But the grading companies, the
Yeah,
authentication on the side of things, they should tell,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and that's one thing
It's
I have a theory about the Super Mario and the no date PO Box misprint manuals. There's the 5K1, 5K2, and 5K3 date codes on the chips. The
Mhm.
5K3s, I think, are roughly about um, two out of every three ones. And then the first two are a week and 2 weeks earlier than that. And combined, those are only about a third of them. I think it's only those
Okay.
first two that have the no dates on them. But that's just a
No
theory.
dates to match
Obviously,
with
we'd
the
have to crack open a couple Matt Super Mario Bros. To know for sure.
Yeah, right.
shit's not
Or
happening.
find ones that you know are 100% original, nothing's ever been interchanged.
Let me get my case backs out, Brian.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you got a case
but,
back on that. I knew it.
you just you showed a really nice Zelda. And I was like, I wonder how nice my Zelda TM carts that I have been kind of hoarding are. And they're really nice, actually. Look at this thing. I should probably grade these.
It's going to be hard to see because your screen is fuzzy as all.
Yeah. But
Is it?
But
those
it,
things are so fragile too, that gold paint on them.
Yeah. Is
yeah,
it fuzzy?
yeah, it's just your internet, but your sound is coming through just fine.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
I can see it.
I got
It's
two
nice.
cards that would
That's a cool card just to have graded, the gold Zelda.
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
not
three
a
of them.
huge on
They're,
grading
these are
cards.
lock 9.4s. So I
Yeah.
gotta send them in.
And then he puts them together like I'm like,
Okay.
One more quick. This was one
uh,
after for a while. A
when did you get that?
couple weeks ago.
Ah, because he was selling off some of his jerseys. Did you get it straight from
No,
him?
he's remaking them.
Oh,
And to his credit, they're clearly remakes, but they're not originals.
got it.
You know, there's a big difference there.
You needed that one for a long time.
People don't want to get rid of them
Well,
Hmm.
because they
you
didn't
How
make
many
actually
people are in this scene?
you just wait them out
1,000.
because our other
I mean,
friend,
a couple, only a handful who are actively going for the big stuff like that, but plenty
yeah,
of people have them or casually buy them. And there's
hmm,
plenty of like inexpensive, cool looking stuff to buy.
yeah,
Hmm.
Now they give players two jerseys for every event and they can sell them for 50, $100. And that's kind of like part of the compensation. It's for most paintball players who play professionally, there's not money in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just, you do it because you love the game.
yeah.
They need to start mixing UFC with paintball.
Oh my
I would
Yeah.
gosh.
absolutely watch that.
Wow. Wow.
There was a thing called taser ball that they started, and an undisclosed company that thought it would cut into their business bought it and killed it. That might have been the UFC.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
They're like, this is too
That would be
extreme.
fun to watch, right?
Yeah. So if you ever search taser ball, there's still a couple videos.
Taser ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it in a little octagon with a
You're
couple
essentially have like tasers and paintball rules.
Wow.
hmm.
Yeah, not
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Was that I mean
I got
that was a lot of
I don't know
stuff.
that this is worth showing, but
Show it anyway.
It's all we're showing. That's what she said.
988. What the what?
Holy shit, man.
That a
Wow.
first print? What do you,
Black label,
what
not
the,
resale.
where did you
Better
get
than the
that?
NFR mat because it doesn't have that crap on the front.
What the hell?
Wow, where'd you get that, Brian?
I'll tell you privately.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
I
a nice copy.
feel like I just got
One
dunked
I like.
on. I got nothing to top that.
Yeah, I got some magazines I
Man,
bought.
guy brings some
I
heat.
was shocked when I saw that grade. Not, I mean, I knew it was nice, but you know, you
Wow.
can't expect a 988 plus plus.
No.
Wow. Nope.
That's just, yeah, you just hit a home run. That's like walk off, walk off. See ya.
But I mean, Josh says four is the one you want, so maybe I'll trade it for a nice
Yeah,
four.
man, I'll trade you all of my fours for that. All of them.
Where's the one you
I
want?
think I got a 95 up there, and yeah.
Ooh.
We got a real special four in the future. So we're gonna just tease it a little bit.
Oh, I don't want to tease that one at all.
Okay. We
We
won't.
we gotta get that graded now. Um,
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Josh, what do you got? Brian just
All right.
there's
We're gonna go quick.
there's
I
no
bought
time.
these I bought these proofs off Heritage. I got the Contra Hard Corps proof from Konami. The MA13 rating on the release version is in white. That's the only difference. I got Sparkster proof, printer's proof, and Metal Warriors printer's proof. I bought all three of those off Heritage. Uh, and then on Whatnot, these just showed up today from the Lost Joystick Network. If you guys haven't listened to their podcast, check them out. Lost Joystick Network. I bought these off of Whatnot. Game Pros that I did not have. So adding to my collection of magazines. So that's it.
Sweet.
My wins.
I'll blow through
I mean,
mine.
I got other stuff. No Halo one.
Dude, I ain't touching that one. Since they came in case packs, I mean I have a sealed Pac-Man just sitting here for my wins. It's a 7.5, which is a win in my world. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
You
yeah,
buy
there's
that from Sean?
there's case packs, I've had this
You got
sitting
it
here.
right
But
from
case
Sean's
packs
case
may
pack.
be 7.5s.
Yeah.
I've had
Right.
this sitting here for 6 months just for saving for a win. And I was like, well, today seems appropriate. I'm wearing a Pac-Man shirt. We are talking Pac-Man. Everybody knows there's case packs now, so you know, whatever.
Ace Ventura is delivering those. Yeah.
This
7.5.
since we're talking so much Halo, I would have I would have waited for Eric to come on the show, but this is crazy, crazy hard, crazy rare variant of Halo 2.
Yeah, baby.
I waited for this for 6, 7 years to find one. It was one of the last ones I didn't have sealed. Um, and yeah, it was actually Sean's old copy. I got it off of Golden auction. I don't think a lot of people
Golden.
knew what it was, but one other bidder did.
There were a lot of nice Halo things on Golden a couple
Yeah,
months.
because
That was
Sean liquidated his collection through Golden because they gave him the best
his
option.
stuff did pretty well. I'll give it to him. It did well. This is the one Sean Gaiman that I bought. I don't know. Did I ever show this one?
Maybe. Uh,
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero Mythologies Target exclusive with the Annihilation soundtrack packaged on it. Literally never seen the variant before, so had to buy this stupid thing. You wouldn't
Well,
know it's Target exclusive unless it was sealed.
I'll touch one more since we've touched VHS, and so we've alienated pretty much everybody watching. So nobody's watching anyway. This to me is really cool because kind of like Transformers and G.I. Joe, we grew up with Mask as well.
Oh, mask.
But
Yeah.
there's like, I know at least the first four copies had gatefold variants. And I'd actually bought the gatefold of 1 and 2 recently, but the guy canceled on me because he was listing it for somebody else. And I wanted to throw like a fit or, be the usual D-bag and say, I'll give you more, but I didn't. I just let the guy have it. And I'm lucky I didn't because he actually listed some cool stuff later that I
Hmm.
bought from him. But Yeah, I'm definitely after the first three volumes now.
See,
And
Matt, it pays to not be a dick sometimes. There you go.
yeah, I mean, it's not like he canceled on me because he wanted more money. He was listing it for somebody else.
Yeah, if
That's
someone wants to buy it through eBay for
Yeah,
security reasons, and
and that's exactly what that was. And I'm sitting here thinking, dude, I'd have paid double, maybe even triple for those, but I'll just let it go.
yeah.
But that's a win because stuff like that you just you just don't see it. It's crazy.
Not
And
only that, you don't see it that nice either.
but that's what makes it fun is that having to wait for it, having to hunt for it. You know, maybe a friend finds it, sends you a link to it, and you're just so excited. And I don't know, but that Halo is just dumb nuts. 9-8.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that story. One last thing before we end the main podcast here though. Uh okay, usual question. House is burning. You can only and this could be video games or paintball. I'm going both directions. You can only grab one thing on your way out. Obviously your family too, but one collectible thing. What are you grabbing? I have a guess, but
it might have to be my Matt Super Mario.
yeah, that's the right answer.
You could come back on the show now. We were
I
gonna
got a lot of shit for buying that one.
You need to get a new house, so it's important that you
Yeah.
take the
Oh,
most
that's a
valuable
good
thing.
point. Yeah, you got to pay for a hotel for 6 months. So yeah, Matt Sticker Mario
I'm
cover.
taking New Kids on the Block box. It's going to net me $400 if I sell it, and I'll lose money on it. But yeah, the right answer, Brian.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, anything else? Any other thoughts? You want people to find you? Where can they find you if you want them to find
Wait,
you?
are we going to read comments?
Oh, snap. You want to read comments, Brian?
Guys,
Sure.
what is this? It's your
Oh
first rodeo?
man. I almost
Brian's like, we're not going to read comments? As soon
he's like I commented galore and you're not gonna read them?
I don't think
maybe
I
he
did
wants
this
to leave.
time.
What?
I said I don't think I put a comment in.
Oh. Can you
I don't
guys
even know which video
can
I
we're
you
can't.
doing.
I
guys
came on the episode. That's good enough, right?
see it?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. We're
Uh,
going 80s. And
All right.
I did filter these by the newest first, I'm
I
pretty
feel
sure.
like I need glasses. I'm getting closer to the screen. I can't even freaking read it, Matt.
Part of getting
Oh,
older.
Can't read the names. I can read the text.
this
Uh
is
Chris,
Christian Purier. He's from the future. Holy shit, 2290. How can we find you guys on whatnot?
Josh, what's your
Well,
whatnot?
it's Wafflefoot.
Underscore or just Wafflefoot?
Just Wafflefoot. Yeah, the best way to find me on whatnot is to ask your mother. So
Wow.
I
Straight
don't know.
for it.
It's actually just my name. I'm selling video games sometimes on there. It's been fun.
Uh Kesta Gimbick is 6917. Wow, that's
17. She better be not 17.
okay.
So
It's funny to hear you couldn't figure out on how to leave the first town in Castlevania 2, and then you beat it while in the first or second grade. How is it possible to figure out on how to summon Tornado while in first
yeah,
and
I brought that
second
up.
grade? That's funny. We just talked about that. I would
Yeah, that
ne
was
I would never beat the game. Tornado's secret killed all my tries. I lived in a small town. There used to be a rumor that an older kid in my town beat the game. Me and my pals would never believe that rumor as no one knew was able to beat that game. You
it's
must have
true. Yeah, the school bus.
no
Yep.
joke.
That's how we figured it out, man.
Wow. Love the comment too, by the
True
way.
story. Castlevania 2 is a beast of a game. Yeah.
Hey,
OMG WS6LX.
yeah.
I need that Sonic.
Which Sonic were we talking about? Was it the NFR? Josh, do you remember? It must have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, it was the NFR. Maybe they won it. OMG, did you win the Sonic?
Well, we'll find out next episode.
Wow.
All right, Josh, go for
I don't feel comfortable reading this comment, but that's okay.
it. Oh, wow. What? You gotta
Yeah,
somebody.
CBT says, not me, says, why don't black people race NASCAR? Because they can't wear their helmet sideways.
Wow. Jesus.
It's for participating today.
My girlfriend says PNW girl 77. What's the 7741? Thank heaven you don't wear hats that way now. Dude, I like that look. It was painful though. It literally was.
I
My head hurt afterwards. It
That's what she said.
also the reason.
the one that's what she said, and Bryan pulls it out.
I had to sneak one in.
All
Yeah.
right. We're
Matt doesn't race
Enjoy the
NASCAR
dope
either.
hats, but
Yeah.
apparently we're giving you all the short ones here, Bryan. And that's what she said.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
I enjoy the dope hats. I'm damned. Thank you. They're doped.
Uh man, hat comments. All right. Hey, go for it, Josh.
Mr. Fucci, my favorite, Mr. Brandon Rogers says, I enjoy the guests a lot. Always fun to put faces and names from Nintendo Age. I love when Josh gets fired up about things. Brandon, you'll like this episode then. It literally makes me laugh out loud. I'd love to be on sometime. Let's make it happen. I'd love to have Brandon on the show. Uh,
And then
I'd
Robin.
love to watch an episode just about Nintendo Age. Who's that?
That's
Robin
Robin.
Monday. Okay, we could do an episode about Nintendo Age.
Done.
We'll do a historical timeline of Nintendo Age.
We can do that. I
Yeah,
still want to bring everybody on in a massive Nintendo Age gathering. That'd be fun too.
maybe we could get Dane to come on.
Oh, I so want Dane to come on. That'd be perfect for the Nintendo Age history. Well, there you go. If we can get Dane on, then we can get the real history of it, straight from the maker.
Mhm.
He's been commenting in Facebook again.
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
Where?
he made a couple comments on Bryan. Where did he? It was somebody talking about funding. Oh no, it was who did we just have on? Joseph Leo was talking about funding the project of moving
Oh,
forward.
the book.
Dane said he's in.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Dane
wow.
said that?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I like Dane.
I do.
I miss Dane. I miss you, Dane.
Blockbuster late fee. So let's get Dane on. Blockbuster late fees, 8th. Wow.
wow.
That's a fall from grace.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Gotta rewind those tapes, you son of a bitch.
You guys just watching me type?
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
Cordy.
All right, Bryan.
Timothy J. And we end with a classic rant. Good job, Josh, making us wait till the end. We got into that one early this episode with the
Yeah,
pack.
sorry.
Oh, I
really have a lot
I should
to say
mention
about
that.
You just chop that up and put a bunch of them up as YouTube shorts, Matt.
Just rants. Just
Rants about
F
Mr.
this,
Ness.
dude. Suck that.
Suck what?
All right, Josh, go for it. Man, he's got a
What do you
triple.
guys enjoy the most? We are only here for
What?
Josh.
No. You skipped one.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, you guys scared me for 34 minutes until you clicked the Gamer Stonks tab to show it was still off. If you guys ever need your router reset or your grandmother's having trouble connecting to CompuServe, you just reach out to Timmy. He'll hook you up.
You already read that one too, then?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
All right, Bryan.
All right. Rad Workshop. I need 6 unlicensed games to complete my NES set. The
Wow.
Panesian Trilogy, Myriad, Cheetah Men 2, and Racer Mate. What game do I get next? Of those games, which is the most claimed to be included in the retail NTSC unlicensed set? I have one Satchel.
Um,
Thanks, Josh.
I the, yeah, the Sachin card. Yeah, that's right. You need to get the rest of the Sachin cards. Don't bitch out. What are your guys' opinions on those games? What fits the best as the retail unlicensed out of all of them, in your guys' opinion?
What fits the best for retail
Yeah,
unlicensed?
most claim to be included in the retail. That's a good question. I know what I feel in this one, but
Uh, what of those games, which of the mo has the most claim to be included in the retail unlicensed?
yeah,
Well, wouldn't that
sold
rule out
retail.
that would rule out the Panesian, right?
Well, it
I
was on
would say so.
retail. Yeah, because those
Cheetah
were.
Cheetah Men or Racer Mate would be the right.
No, I would put Cheetah Man at the very bottom of that shit,
Okay.
mainly because it didn't. It was found in a warehouse. Mike Etler found him, sold him.
So
So
Myriad or Racer Mate.
Was that what's the guy's name from? I forget who the studio for Cheetah Men 2 is.
Active Enterprise, Greg,
Yes.
the other Greg Paddock bought Active Enterprise.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
ended
and
up
so he
buying like 8 Action 52s from someone on eBay back in the day who claimed to work have made them and was just clearing out old stock.
Wow.
you probably bought him from the person. Do you still
So
have them?
now I've sold them all since. And some of
Oh,
them didn't work. They were like test cartridge prototype type of things, but didn't have
Wow.
they they didn't all play right, but were all super minty.
oh my God, Brian,
That's epic.
breaking
What
my
the
heart.
hell?
Uh,
I
Cheetah
wish
Man
I
2,
could go back and find those messages.
Cheetah Man 2 was supposed to be released. It was warehouse found sort of thing. Myriad, just a rebrand. Megasoft slapped Myriad labels over Caltron labels,
So
re-released it in Kingwood, Texas.
we're saying Racer Mate.
Racermate is hands down it, in my opinion. Also, probably the most affordable of all those. I do believe that these were sold retail at one point. I don't know if this shows up, but we got a retail sticker on there. Sealed hot slots.
Yeah, but it would have been
Wholesale outlet,
it
9.95.
so we're still going Racer Mates.
I'm going with Racermate, but you're also, I mean, retail mail order, right? You're only getting that if you get the whole setup to ride your bike.
I'm going to read this since I didn't read one earlier. Rad Workshop again. When you have a guest, they usually have a niche interest in a hobby, and it's interesting and informative. Best of both worlds. Hey, there you go. I mean,
There you go,
we're
Brian. That's
literally
it.
talking about that right now. Oops.
Oops.
Ugh. Being paintball. All right, who's next? I don't know. I lost track.
Johnny Iusi, I want to hear Braveheart.
Eugene. I
Yeah,
want to hear Braveheart too.
So do I.
That bastard.
Agreed. He would have blown minds of a lot of variant collectors and then fill screen games. I third. Well, I fourth.
A fifth. Um,
Josh fifths.
yep. The late HC says, damn it, not first. That's what happens when you have your own podcast, Henry. So
wonder if he bought the Pac-Man.
I wouldn't be
Shit, no,
surprised.
he's not buying that. You
He
think he
said
bought
that
that?
was the game he'd buy if it was Atari, if he was to get into Atari.
It's too bad because the game he really should buy is Miss Pac-Man because that's the absolute best. But I get why you buy Pac-Man.
All right, one more.
Tiger Wolf is in the house with first before anyone else, including Henry and Blockbuster late fees. I win. He was so excited he typed in all capitalized letters, no punctuation.
You got to scream
Tiger
it if
Wolf
you're going
wins.
to read that one. It's all caps.
All caps.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, done with that.
Dang.
Josh doesn't even show up on the screen anymore. Oh, there he is.
I don't.
All right, Brian. Now we can say where can people find you?
Um, I'm mostly on Facebook. If you want to reach me, shoot me a message there. I have an Instagram, PB Jerseys. Um, I've tried making video game related ones. Instagram thinks I'm a bot and nukes them after I write a couple posts and I've given up, tried. So I just have that one Instagram.
Yeah, so if any of you watching have crazy rare paintball paraphernalia, let Brian know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very fair in his dealings. He won't bend you over far. But it's no, he's
That's
really
talking
honest,
from experience.
really, really nice guy. I mean, I still to this day, I was telling Tracy earlier, like Brian's coming on the show and oh, Tracy says hi to everybody. But she's like, "Oh, the guy who got your original paintball gun back." Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah." And honestly, that was a song of a deal for me. But I mean, it means so much to me too. So I still appreciate you just for that. That's that one.
It 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 was a neat gun to me. It had personal connection to you.
Yeah,
You know?
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope it never has to go anywhere. And if it does, I'll send it back your way. But I
Got
don't ever
plenty
see.
other things to sell before that.
Yeah. A lot of video games will go long before that ever will. So
Yeah.
sweet. Awesome. Loved having you on. Obviously, it's so funny how, I mean, I'm looking up at the clock. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't realize we went that long. Um, thank thanks for, putting in the time too, because you're Colorado, so you're pushing closer to midnight now, but
Yeah. Just in time for the Switch 2 launch.
You can catch Letterman, right? Oh, Letterman's not on anymore. Who's
Letterman
on?
doesn't
Kimmel
TV.
took over CBS spot. Man, Letterman was great. God damn. Did you guys like Letterman?
He was funny.
It was the best. Jay Leno was a little bitch. Letterman was it. I miss Letterman.
Coming in there hot at the end.
Yeah, just finish with heat. Just torch this thing down.
All right, positivity, guys. Be nice to everybody. Don't be mean.
Well,
Don't be Sean.
thanks again. Wow. Thanks again. You are great for the community. I will say that. He does a lot of things behind the scenes for the community, which is great and positive. And just a great guy. Reach out, say hi, leave your thoughts, comments below. It sounds like people want to see Braveheart. So Braveheart, I know you're watching, if not now, if not in a couple weeks, because you just binge watched everything. The people have spoken. I don't.
Yeah.
England is it England? No, Scotland is calling. they, they need
You got
Braveheart.
downtime right now, Eric. It's not even apple season up in that mother. So get on the show. You got time. It's summer.
Yeah, man.
Fully expect a whole expose on NES variants.
Or we're
So.
just going to start spitting false facts about variants until you have to come on to straighten Josh out.
Yeah. I'm going to start talking about Game Gear variants here. So
that's perfect. Because no one else would know anyway. Well,
Okay.
Bryan, thanks
Thank
again. Uh, you're awesome, and we're happy to have you back on anytime. And thanks for always, participating and commenting. Your comments are always awesome to read. I appreciate them and thoughtful and
Yeah.
insightful.
Thanks for hosting. Thanks for putting out over 100 episodes.
Yeah, I
Damn,
don't
we
know
have a lot
how.
of that.
Yeah, we're at like I think this was 120.
120 is a good number. I heard like some statistic where I don't know where I heard it, but podcasts typically die out after like 10 episodes.
Yeah, 10, I think is the so 100's
Damn.
not bad.
And not only just 100, but we're doing like a couple hour episodes on these usually. Damn.
Yeah, and we have so many more, collectors we want to get on here too. It's just a matter of getting them on, and not it's just as much fun for me. But anyway, sweet man. Thanks
All right.
again.
Good chatting, fellas.
Yeah.
All right.
Leave your thoughts, comments. We love you all. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you again next time.